6 years ago, I was at home in Finland in the middle of winter, and it had snowed a lot. And we have a very long driveway, and I was pregnant. We had 2 small kids, and I needed to get out of the yard, and I saw what time it was. I had to take one of the kids to the doctor. I saw how much it had snowed. I knew it would take me about an hour to do the snow work to get the driveway cleared so I could drive the car up to the street. And I was getting the kids ready to take outside with me, and it took me about half an hour, and the next thing I knew, I looked out of the window. Our elderly neighbor, 65, had come and done the snow work on my behalf. I hadn't asked. He'd just come over with his snow kind of, it's like a machine that, spouts out the snow, and he'd done it during that time that I was getting the kids ready to get out of the house. And I was very moved. He didn't know that I really needed this. And being very pregnant, and having the 2 little kids, and having very little time, it meant a lot.
When I was in Durango at South City Market in line, and I was going to pay for some food and everything, and it turned out that I didn't have enough money. So the person behind me in line actually helped pay for what I was buying and actually gave me some money to get what I needed.
There was this little boy, his name, I forgot his name, and when we were walking from the merry-go-round, I guess he came out with a plate for us, like food, and he told us that it was for us.
It was the year 1974. I was a pioneer in Tanzania, and I was attending the national convention that year in the capital city of Dar es Salaam. Dar es Salaam was a city right by the Indian Ocean, so it was always very hot and very humid. And for the Baha'is from all over the country to come to that place, sometimes they had to take a train for 24 or 30 hours, or a bus for 15 or 20 hours. And in some cases, they had to travel for a day just to get to a train station or a bus station. Well, there was one man who showed up at the national convention right in the middle of it. And he walked in very quietly, came in from the back and sat down next to me. And he was sweating from head to toe. And he had strong body odor. So all the people around him started moving away from him. And then somebody told me his story. They said that the 2 days before he came, he helped to form 12 local spiritual assemblies by walking and walking and walking and walking between villages. And as soon as he had got those 12 local spiritual assemblies formed, he got on buses and trains and buses and trains and buses and trains, and 24 hours later made it to this place in Dar es Salaam. As soon as I heard that, I got up from my chair, I took him to the showers in that building, and I gave him the shirt off my back to wear after he took his shower, because his act of generosity for the faith was the highest expression of generosity I had ever seen, is to give of everything he had. He had nothing except himself, and to give all of that for the sake of these local spiritual assemblies, and then to travel with great hardship to this national convention.
Well, I was driving from about 20 miles west of Gallup, and my light went on in my car that said the gas it needed gas. But I thought, at that point, Gallup was 10 miles or less, and I thought, I can make it. But I got near a way station in Arizona, and it went, and the whole car started making noises, and I pulled off. It was right by a way station, so I went in. There weren't any police there to help, and everybody was very busy getting their paperwork. I thought, oh boy, we'll see. Maybe I can use my cell phone. Anyway, but this one truck driver, he said, as soon as I finish this paperwork, I'll get you some gas. Are you right near here? And I said, yeah, I pulled off right on I-40, right near here. But I said, you must be on a schedule. I don't want to bother you. But he said, I'll do it. And it took him about 20 minutes with all the paperwork. But he went into Gallup, came back with a container. I didn't even have a container to put gas in. So this very kind truck driver, his name is Victor, took 2 hours of his time and went all the way to Gallup, got a container, came back with 5 gallons of gas, and put it in my tank. I thanked him with tears in my eyes, and he said, thank you for letting me help you. So whenever I go past the way station on I-40, going back and forth to Nobby or Flagstaff or anywhere, I say a thank you prayer to Victor and a prayer for protection as he drives his truck, that he'll be protected.
I was a young Baha'i. I'd been a Baha'i maybe a month or two. And I'd met my future wife, Diane. We weren't married yet. And we were in Cortez, and Diane drove all the way down for a feast. Well, Harriet had this little fifth wheel, she and Tom. Little camper is all it was. Really, that was her home. And she'd always open it up for the Baha'is. Loved to have Baha'is there. And so here we come, Baha'i youth, too many people to fit in that little camper of hers. And so they were caretakers on this ranch and farm. And so there was this big pinto bean warehouse right next to where her camper was. So since there were too many people to fit in her trailer, or her little camper, we went across the way into this pinto bean warehouse, huge warehouse. So here we are all sitting around on bags of pinto beans, reading the writings, having this wonderful feast, and it started to rain really lightly, so you have this tin roof with the sprinkles of rain on it. And I think of that as being the richest, most bountiful time with Harriet and her home, her love, her little camper, the pinto bean warehouse, the bounty of God's writings, and the rain. I mean, it's just, that's a picture of generosity for me.
And I was deeply moved by that.
It moved me very much. I felt very humble and very moved.
Made me feel okay.